Hello, my dear beloved children. Today I want to talk to you about another phenomenon of modern society, which carries an invisible danger at first glance. And we are talking about a radical change in the education system, which leads to general spiritual impoverishment. You've probably noticed what a deep gulf lies between the older generation, who have received a classical education, and the younger people who have not. By classical education, I mean something that is devoid of digitalization of all kinds. Thus, in the absence of computers, mobile phones, and other electronic devices, children and young people received information from books and from their teachers, and this alone taught them to think, since a person who took a book in his hands was completely immersed in knowledge that was new to him, involuntarily systematizing it and conducting a comparative analysis. This is how the human brain works. It carefully digests information, especially if it is presented in a literary form beautifully and vividly, which is then stored in its consciousness and subconscious in a processed form. Then, discussing what they had read in the lessons, the students exchanged opinions, impressions, and conclusions. As a result, a lively discussion was born, which further enriched its participants, at the same time teaching children to listen to other people's opinions and be able to justify their own. Compulsory reading of literature contributed to the development of language skills, enrichment of people's vocabulary, and their literacy. The teaching staff of those times was quite strong, since the profession of a school teacher or university professor was respected and prestigious. And what is happening now, when live communication has been replaced by soulless electronic devices, with the help of which you can find any necessary information and answer to any of your questions at the touch of a button, without bothering to read books and textbooks? And what happens is that a person no longer needs to make any mental efforts, receiving everything in a ready-made form, and he turns from a thinker and creator into a consumer of information. Especially disastrous was the introduction of such a system of knowledge testing when it is necessary to choose the correct one from several answers. This deprives a person of the ability to think deeply and comprehensively, giving a thoughtful and detailed answer to the question posed. Instead, he confines himself to superficial knowledge, enough to guess rather than feel the answer. As a result of such a neutered education system, more than one generation of people has grown up who do not know how to express their thoughts vividly, figuratively, and competently, because they were not taught to read, who do not know how to creatively approach their work, because they were not taught to think broadly and freely, and who do not know how to fully communicate with others, because they did not have the experience of exchanging opinions and impressions of the knowledge gained. Thus, gradually, human communication, both live and indirect, through the reading of fiction, was replaced by the one-sided use of soulless electronic devices, which have become an integral part of the life of every modern person. And next time we will talk about the impact on human health and psyche of the replacement of live communication with virtual communication, and what kind of energy it carries. Hello, my dear beloved children. As a follow-up to my previous message, we will now talk about the energetic aspects of different types of communication. Live, and let's start with live communication, which until recently was natural and the only possible one. Let's take a look at how it happens in the educational sphere, which we are talking about in this case. So imagine a lesson at school or a higher education institution, and a lot depends on the teacher. What kind of atmosphere, or in other words, energy he brings to the classroom. It can be a friendly, cheerful, benevolent atmosphere, or, on the contrary, hostile, oppressive, intimidating. As a rule, the teacher sets the tone in the classroom, but at the same time, each student contributes to this general atmosphere. And yet, more often than not, especially if the teacher is a strong personality, the students catch his energy wave, which determines their state of mind. Thus, the quality of the energy emitted by the teacher directly affects each student. And here, one of the main laws of the universe, the law of attraction or similarity, comes into play. As a result, the positive energies radiated by the teacher are multiplied by the students who are on the same wavelength with him. And under the pressure of this high vibrational wave, the negative energies emanating from other students are neutralized or even transformed into positive ones. In this way, the energetic unity of this group of people is gradually created. The same thing happens with negative energies. If the tone is set by the teacher, then the students are increasingly overwhelmed by a sense of fear and separation. As a result, an oppressive atmosphere is created in the classroom that pulls even the most cheerful, friendly, and positive students into its whirlpool. Both experiences are very beneficial for the soul of each of those present in this class, as they allow them to feel and understand the effect that different types of energy have on them, even if these people are not aware of it and do not know anything about energies as such. In their subconscious, there is a mechanism of automatic attunement to the vibrational waves of others, and at the right moment, this information will definitely pop up in their minds in order to feel and understand how to behave in a particular situation, how to tune in to the wave of your interlocutor, or, on the contrary, neutralize unwanted energy when communicating with him. This is how a person, at first unconsciously, and as he grows up, consciously learns the energy exchange with other people. And this experience of being in the three-dimensional world is truly priceless, because this is what many pure human souls come here for. That's what we're going to focus on today. The Father Absolute, who loves you immensely, has spoken to you